Hello, my name is Jacob van Kogelenberg of JKConsult. In the context of the podcasts we make for Biscuit people, I do want to explain you something more about sealing technology. What is sealing and what are the important aspects? The first I want to explain to you is the difference between sealing and welding. Welding is using monomaterials, so there are no sealing layers on it, and what you do is you fuse the material. To do that we first need clamps to hold the material, then we put heaters or impulse heaters and you create a pool. There's a weld pool that has no mechanical structure, semi-liquid, and then you have to cool down and remove the clamps, and then you have a finished weld. It is one way to unite two films, but please take into account during the welding action there is no mechanical force possible. Now, if we go to heat sealing, in heat sealing we have adhesion. We're not welding, we have adhesion. So there are generally rotary crimpers as shown here that have a temperature, and I have to reach in the center where those two materials touch. In that center I have to reach something like 105 to 120 degrees to achieve that attachment. Now be careful, the film melts at 140 and you have to transport heat through the film. Now a seal only is generated when we have the right temperature and pressure simultaneously. So what we do, the sealing pressure is important, and at the moment we start we have a room temperature in the film, and we have to get it in the center up to 105 degrees. So on the outside you can apply something up to 140 depending on the speed you're running. Very important, you need a certain time to transport the energy through the film. So if I have a film I have to get through from the outside and it has to appear at the inside of the film. Important is, during the sealing the film maintains its mechanical properties. So it is hot, and the attachment, the adhesion is such that it has a tack in hot temperature. So hot tack will hold the seam together even if there's a load on it. That's the difference with welding. Okay, now there are a few issues that I have to explain. If we have a flow pack, we have the film, and there is this fin seal folded. So here I have more material than in this area. That's very important. So I do apply pressure and heat here, but in these areas there's no contact. So actually I don't get a seal in these areas. So I have to get this sealing bar up to this point. Now there's also a gap here in the fold that will allow gases and everything else to go in and out the pack. We want to get rid of that too. So what is necessary is to get that closed, and if we do that with a gusseted pack the situation is even worse. We have several places where we have more than 2 layers. Here are 2 layers. Now imagine there's a wrinkle in this area, the situation gets even worse. So if we start here, we have to achieve this situation. So something has to seed, or something has to be flexible to reduce the thickness from 4 here to the 2 layers that I have in this area. Here now I have pressure and energy applied at every point of the cross seal. Now of course the ideal situation would be if we have a serration that allows the film to be in full contact with the metal everywhere. Well, that's not possible. I will show you in a few moments. So one theory is that we have contact on these areas, but Unfortunately, those 4 2-layer issue gives us a different situation. Look, if we do that, we see here I have here 4 layers and I have here 2 layers. So the 4 layers will define the distance of the profiles of the upper and lower crimper. And you see in these areas there is no contact, there's only radiation. Here in those points is contact. So what in reality will happen, because there are even thicker things, places where there's more material, we will have contact on these tops of the profile, not on the flanks. It will always be only on the tops, and I have this depth of the profile to stretch the material. The more I can stretch the material, the more intimate the contact is in these areas, and that's where I get seals. Now on top of that comes another issue, that if I have a crimper and I want to heat up to 140 degrees, of course these ends will cool down compared to the center. Now you can use copper because that has better heat transport, so it will be more even. You can use heat pipes, but there always will be differences from one ends to the center, and that is something else films have to handle. That is what I want to tell you in this first part about sealing. I'll come back with another one on the sealing profiles. Thank you.